Okay, even then, with all the preparation, hotels booked, flights out of China booked, bank statements, itinerary written out beautifully, we still got a little knockback. So if you're not watching this video just to check everything through first, then you're going to be in a lot of sort of queuing and bother and heat. G'day, I'm Steve Owens. Welcome to the channel. So you want to get your Chinese visa. You've heard it's easier to get in Vietnam. It kind of is, but if you want to do it without any grief, you want to follow these steps we're going to share with you now. As far as I'm aware, you can only do this in Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi. We're in Hanoi. You need to be near to the Chinese embassy. The forms you need, you don't have to go to the embassy to get. You can download those online. I'll just put up the name of the form here so you can check that out. Google it, find it, download it. We actually filled in the form as a PDF file on our computers and then printed it off. It just looks tidier, and I believe the Chinese embassy like that. But you can print it off and do it by old-fashioned handwriting. In addition to the form, you're going to need 2 passport photographs, and they must have a white background behind them. One of the gentlemen that were at the embassy with us had a cream background behind. They wouldn't take it, so just be safe. Have a white background. There are loads of places here in Hanoi that will actually do those passport photographs for you, so just check it out. Ask the local printing shops around where you are. You're going to have to make copies of your passport. You should do it before you go there. Just the ID, the bio page, make a photocopy nice and clear. Take that along with you. You also need to include the page that has your Vietnamese visa on there, so put them side by side on one sheet of paper. That should do. Now, Michelle and I were of the opinion that you could only get 30 days, but it is actually the case you can get up to 90 days, certainly for Australians. You'll need to sort of check out your visa status from the country you're from, but you can get up to 90 days. The embassy is also going to ask you for proof of your flight or travel into China and your proof of your travel out of China. Now, at the time when we were reading about this, several people said you can't get the train ticket to go into China till you have the visa, and they will accept that. I'm here to tell you they won't accept it. They actually asked us just to book a flight into China and cancel it. They literally almost said those words to us. So you can go on to Expedia, and if you look on Expedia, you'll see there are flights that can be cancelled without any charges within 24 hours. Book your flights into China and out of China. Print off the reference that comes from Expedia, and then you can cancel the flights. Here is the big issue that people come across time and time again. The Chinese embassy, they want to see an itinerary for your time in China, and a complete itinerary. Many people I know have put on the form they want 60 days or longer in China, and then they provide an itinerary for maybe 15 days, and they come away from the embassy with a 15-day visa. It isn't difficult to do. Just go on to booking.com or Agoda, find yourself some hotels where you can actually book and cancel. Again, it's the same as the flights. There are many there. All you need to do then is book your hotel itinerary. Every single day that you want to be in China, book those hotels. Easier to do some long stints, so book a hotel for maybe 15 days or even a whole month in one city. Just choose a random itinerary. It doesn't have to be where you're going to, but print those out and provide, if you want 60 days, as Michelle and I do, 60 days of where you're staying, and book 60 days on the form. That way, there's a very good chance you're going to get 60 days. Many people I know have booked a month, they want 30 days, and they've only given 2 weeks itinerary. The embassy just gives them 2 weeks, and then you've kind of wasted your money and your time. So I think this is the most key important factor. Print out a simple, full itinerary, and do it with hotels that you can cancel after the visa has been submitted, or given back to you, should I say. Because I have heard they sometimes will call the hotels to see if they have a booking. Now, that might not be the case, but it's not difficult to do, so do it anyway. Another item they may ask for is proof of funds. So if you can just print off something from your bank, remove some of the personal details on there, but something from your bank saying that you have enough funds to travel for the time, you want. It doesn't need to be a lot of money, but it will just help your cause. Another possible thing they may request is some sort of travel insurance. There are many out there that you can get. It's not so expensive, but make sure you have something printed out to prove you have some travel insurance. As it is, we weren't asked for travel insurance, so there's a chance you might get away. You don't have to hand them everything, just hand them what they ask for and be prepared that you have it all there. They certainly will ask for the itinerary, I'm pretty sure of that. So make sure you have it all printed off. It's easy to get things printed here in Hanoi. Just go to one of the small printing shops and they'll print it for a few cents a copy. And for us from Australia anyway, it's $30 US for a single entry visa. And once the visa has been approved, they'll ask you to pay your $30 per person, and you have to pay in clean banknotes. So nothing with any tears on it or writing on it, has to be clean. Now I know from some countries the fees may be different, so you'll just have to do your homework on that. But it's cash, and it can be paid at the embassy, or should be paid at the embassy. And if you follow those simple guidelines, you should be okay. Now if you want to join Michelle and I on a little adventure of getting our visa, that's coming up straight after this. So we've arrived outside the Chinese embassy, and yeah, it's all pretty simple. Come here, queue's about, I don't know, maybe 5 meters long, maybe about 20 people. And what happens, I'll just come along here. You're gonna queue along here. Never sure filming outside the Chinese embassy, right? But yeah, this is where you come to. So I'll put the spot on the map so you can see where it is, and we'll tell you what it's like getting the visa inside. So Michelle and I are queuing now at the Chinese embassy in Hanoi to get the visa. All the paperwork's in order. We've got everything with us. It should be pretty straightforward.
9:30 now.
9:30. I mean, it opens, what time does it open?
8:30 to 11.
8:30 to 11. We've been told by a few people, don't rush down here. The queue's much the same at sort of 8:30 is at 10:30, but you don't want to be too late. Only opens to 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the process, I think, once you're in there, takes about 30 minutes, but I'll let you know in a minute. Now remember to wear a bit of sunscreen or a hat or something, because we're out in the sun at the moment. There's a shade just here, but it's going to take another 2 or 3 moves before we're actually under the shade. The number. Okay, even then, with all the preparation, hotels booked, flights out of China booked, bank statements, itinerary written out beautifully, we still got a little knockback because we believe that because we have to get the train into China, and you can't book the train without the visa being processed, that explaining that to them would be fine. No, they weren't going to have it. She basically said, go and book any flight into China and bring it back. You know, it doesn't matter whether it's a flight you're taking. Basically,
She said, I didn't
yeah,
see her.
just book a flight. You have to have proof of your travel into China. Anyway, long story short, luckily I've got my phone there. I went on to Expedia. We booked a flight that you can cancel within 24 hours. They've got a computer in there so you can print things out free of charge as well.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so we just booked an Expedia flight with any old airline into China and out, printed it off, gave it to the girl, and she was happy with that. But it's really pedantic. You've got to be careful. And there's a lot of people in there without the documentation and forms. So if you're not watching this video just to check everything through first, then you're going to be in a lot of sort of queuing and bother and heat. It isn't difficult. It's pretty simple.
Just got to have everything in place, and that I mean everything.
But everything in place, and we'll let you know on Friday, 4 days from now.
3 days, 4 including today, so it's
Okay.
actually 4 days, so that's good. Friday.
So 4 days from now, we'll see whether we get our visa, and we'll also see whether we get the 60 days we asked for, rather than just the 30 days. So we had read, in our defence, just recently somebody had been to the embassy and they had said they were getting the train in, and the embassy accepted that Green light doesn't mean a thing. Crossing. Green light crossing means nothing in Vietnam. So yes, we just read that somebody had said they told the Chinese embassy there that they were going to get the train and they needed the visa before, because you can't book the train without a copy of your visa. And so every strand of you says, yeah, that's common sense. No place really wants you to book the in-flight. Everybody wants you to book an out-flight. Every visa in the world are always asking for out-flights, although rarely any of them actually want them. So we're thinking, yeah, that's just common sense. So we said to the girl, no, we'll book our train ticket in to China at the moment we've got our visa. She wasn't having it. She basically said, no, just you have to go to an agency and book a flight in or a bus in or anything. Book something into China and have it printed, even if you don't use it. She literally said those words. So she was just being pedantic as hell. So yeah, be aware of that. In many ways, it was very easy just to print a cancelable flight on Expedia, print it out, and then cancel the flight, which we've already done.
We've already cancelled that one.
Already cancelled.
Yeah.
But
we thought we'd covered everything, but you know.
It's that pedantic, and there may be stories out there. You might read the odd one that says, oh, we said we didn't have a flight out, or we said we didn't have a flight in. It's just not worth it. It's just going to take up time in this heat and energy, so you might as well just have everything done. It costs nothing, and it's simple to do. Printing out documents there seems to be free, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Photographs are not. You need to have, how many photographs, Michelle?
2 on a white background.
And it has to be a white background. They won't have it with a cream background or a beige. One guy got knocked back just because he had like a cream colour behind his photograph, so it has to be a white background. Again, you might get away with it sometimes, but I doubt it.
Yeah. Just have everything there. I mean, she just asks for it and you just hand it in. If she doesn't ask for it, don't hand it in. But, you know,
Exactly. Okay, so Michelle and I are back at the Chinese embassy. It's 4 days later. It's a Friday for us. No queue this time. They told us to come back about 4 o'clock. We've arrived at 3:30. We heard it opened earlier than 4 o'clock, and it's only open between 3:30 and 4:30. So it's to collect hopefully your visas. So Michelle's gone in. I'm going to follow her in a second. We've applied for the 60 days. Hopefully, if we followed all the boxes and done everything correctly, or ticked all the boxes and done everything correctly, this should be a breeze. I'll let you know. I better get in, and I don't think it's going to be too long here. Okay, got our passports back. 60 days?
60 days.
60 days, and basically you can enter up until 3 months from them issuing this, so we're going to go and cancel all our bookings, which we had to make in order to get it. But yeah, we got 60 days, no trouble. It goes to show, really, it's the itinerary, isn't it?
It is.
Set up your itinerary.
Completely with dates out.
I've seen a lot of people who have asked for 60 days and then offered a sort of 45-day itinerary. They get 45 days, so make that itinerary. Sorry, there's a fly in my face. And the other thing is, as of recently, you have to pay in US dollars. It's $30 per application for a single entry visa, and you have to pay here at the embassy. There was a time I think you had to go away and pay somewhere else. You must bring US dollars here and pay at the embassy, and they must be clean, unbroken, untorn, good condition dollars. Yeah?
Yeah.
So we're all good. We're off to China. Well, we're going to
Sometime.
spend a bit of time in Vietnam first, and then we're off to China. Now, one of the reasons we're not going to China straight away is in Hanoi right now, in Vietnam. The temperatures are so hot. It's 38 degrees. It's not the heat even. Oh, it's a bit smelly here. Let's move down a little bit. It's not even the heat. It's the humidity. Just this waste bin here. Let's cross over. So yeah, it's the humidity. It's so high that it drains you, and it's not a lot different in China. And we don't really want to spoil the Chinese experience by it being just too hot in some of the cities we want to go to. So we're going to hanker down here in Vietnam, bear the heat, And then when we go into China, it will be towards the end of the summer, and the temperatures, maybe sort of September time, the temperatures will have dropped down a little bit. But at least the next month we're going to spend here in Vietnam. And to underline that, we're heading down to the train station, which is only about 1 kilometre from the Chinese embassy, and we're buying tickets to go south. It isn't going to be any cooler, but it'll be a little less bedlam than it is here in Hanoi. The heat in Hanoi is a bit overbearing because of all the traffic you can see, the pollution. So we're going to go down to Hoi An, a little bit outside of Hoi An. We're not going straight there. We're going to do a few train journeys down. There's different ways to get from Hanoi to Hoi An. It all sound the same, don't they?
Get them the right way.
Yeah. So there's different ways to get down there. You can either fly, coach, I wouldn't advise it. Overnight train can be good, but we've done a lot of them. So what we're going to do is actually do the journey in some small sort of 3-hour chunks and stop off and try and experience some of the towns on the way down. So hopefully I'll share that with you as we go. Whew. It's hot in Hanoi.
We're nearly there.
So if you enjoyed that, and if you've actually got your Chinese visa from Vietnam and you want to make some comments down below and let us know how it went for you, we'd love to hear. In the meantime, we will see you for some fun when we get to China. We're really looking forward to it. It went well for us. I hope it goes well for you. We'll see you on the other side. Take care.